Hi, my name's Trent, and today I'd like to talk to you about who you trust. I know that most people trust normal medical doctors still these days, and I would just like to put an open invitation out for people to question who they trust and whether these people are actually getting them better or well. In my opinion now, and my experience as a detoxification specialist, I've seen extreme radical healing when going back to nature for only 2 to 3 days, whereas people under the guidance of doctors have not been able to see any of these changes within months or years. So what I'm saying is, when we're open to nature again and the healing potential of the body as the healer, so nature and the body as the healers, we can actually achieve far greater healing than usually imagined possible. And all we need to do is be open for it and not afraid, and be ready for some, would say miraculous, but it's actually just dealing with nature and the healing potential of the body, but wondrous changes. I'll give you one quick example of what I've experienced with a man in Austria. He was 66 years old. He had bad water in the lungs, lung and heart infection as they call, full of water. He was always into alternative medicine and would never go to the doctor usually, but he dragged himself to hospital. Later he told us that he had felt at about 5 to 10% of his living quality, of his liveliness, you could say. So he went in there with that. They put him on a rehabilitation program with a lot of medication. It picked him up a little bit to a certain extent, went into a heavy exercise regime recovery center, and then returned home on many medications. After doing this, as I said, it regulated some things a little bit. However, then after a month or so, he still was never 100%. He was maybe 50, 70% maximum of his feeling, like life quality, or life healthiness, whatever you'd like to call it, vitality. However, then he ate normally and drank normally, or a little bit even less healthily, and things were even worse. And he had a resting heart rate of 150 plus. So a resting heart rate. So this is what a maximum heart rate would look like for someone of his age, because it'd usually take about 220 minus your age to get the maximum. So it was around the maximum, or a bit lower of course, but pretty close, as a resting heartbeat. And the blood pressure was around 90/50, which is extremely low. So resting pulse, 150 plus usually. Couldn't sleep properly, couldn't breathe properly at times, or often. And these were his vital signs, symptoms. I went to him and said, okay, are you ready to try something different? He said, okay, let's do it. So we took the 6 medications to the side. He pushed them to the side. He wanted to try one way or then the other way. This other way clearly hadn't got him better, but it was stabilizing some things in the body to a certain extent through symptom treating, which is not what I do. He chose to put all the medication away. It was his choice, and go for some herbal formulas and changing his diet. So the biggest thing what we did was change his diet straight away to something all natural for his body, because when we do the right things for the body, the right things can happen. So the right things, in my opinion and experience now, is to eat and drink and experience things in the world that is naturally suited for our bodies. So I suggested, and he did so immediately, to go out and get as many dark, organic seeded grapes as he could find. He had a few days worth and came back and started to eat just grapes. So we called a grape fast. You can do it with grapes or grape juice. In short though, after 2 to 3 days, after taking none of the 6 different medications anymore and eating just grapes, the vital signs changed immediately after 2 to 3 days. This is because it takes only 2 to 3 days for the body to alkalize and hydrate more. And this is when the body becomes more fluid in the lymphatic system, not the blood. It's all about the lymphatic system in a lot of work that I do with people. So this system becomes more fluid and more alkaline in nature, and therefore the body can start to move its lymph system again and start to eliminate through the urine. So it works all about the lymphatic system and the kidneys and the skin, not about the blood, which is where the doctors are focusing on. I'm not saying there's no good doctors out there. I'm just saying there's many that aren't aware of the things that I've been practicing recently over the last few years with amazing results. So after 2 to 3 days, no more medications anymore, just eating grapes, and some herbal formulas came a little bit later, but just the grapes to start with. His resting pulse dropped immediately to 130, 120, under 100 after 2 to 3 days. The blood pressure began to rise naturally, so no medications, just naturally eating grapes. Rose to up to 100, over 100, over closer to 60, so 55 to 60, closer. This is clear evidence and proof through experience and observation of what's possible just by going back to nature. So this is one small example, and I'll stop this video right now, or very shortly, with just this one small example, and I'll do more videos with more examples very soon. It's one example of what's possible when we are open to something new, when we see that something else or a different system or a way of thinking from the medical community isn't working, isn't healing the body, it's symptom treating. So it's holding to a certain extent and then holding this level of weakness or deterioration, and then eventually going down even further or adding more and more medication to try to compensate chemically with the body rather than working naturally with natural medicine, with food and herbs, raw food and herbs. So I just pose this question and offering for people to consider looking to nature and the body as the healers rather than a medical community that is providing chemical medicine that have many different side effects long term and that are never actually healing, curing the problem. Because in my experience and my opinion now, they don't know the root cause of the problems, so therefore they can't heal and fix the problems. So they're poking this at that, giving this tablet that, this injection for that, when they don't know what the problem is. So I'm not putting blame on them as such, because if you don't know something, you can't be blamed for it, you can't fix something. And what I'm saying is that I have experienced now and feel like I know through observational experience, which has been tested and shown to my very eyes with very extreme cases, including my own body, which I'll get into another video as well, that it works because I realize the system that is down, which is not the blood, it is the lymphatic system, and I realize the eliminative organs that are not able to eliminate the problem within the body, which is actually dehydration, over-acidity, lack of proper movement of the lymph system, and lack of proper elimination through the 2 kidneys and the skin. So these are the 5 things in which I see is the problem. When we reverse these 5, we create hydration, an alkaline environment, we move the lymph system and we can eliminate properly through the kidneys and the skin. Then we reverse these 5 things. I'll do a separate video on these 5 things as well in more detail. So, thanks for watching so much. I hope this opens something up feeling-wise, to be able to try something different or even imagine that there's something different out there than the medical world. And I know and understand why people trust the medical community, because they're brought up this way through their parents, their family, their friends, the media, with TV, with radio, with all the advertisements. It's the normal world, I understand that. But there are other ways, like I've just spoken about, and I can help with other ways, as well as other specialists like myself. So, I finish this with this open invitation again to feel what could be best for you and what changes you may be able to experience that you haven't yet. Thanks for watching. And my email is in the description below if you'd like to contact me for any further questions, information, or any health help. Until next time, thanks for watching again, and see you soon.